when it comes to launching a group program, I think there can be this assumption that there's a whole load of work that has to go in before it. And others might teach or share, for example, a methodology that before you launch your group program, you have to grow an audience, you have to design a lead magnet, you then have to go through like this period of nurturing your audience, right? And you have to get to X number of people before you launch a group program. Now, and also I've echoed that a little bit with who I let into Amplify with evergreen group programs where you, instead of running it like in a cohort, you want to enroll people month on month and grow it and scale it. I do think that you can't scale an evergreen group program unless you have an audience. However, evergreen group programs are typically not where a lot of people are going to start, right? You're just going to start with beta testing and a group program, an idea. And if that's you and you just want to get your first group program off the ground, going and putting 3 to 6 months worth of work into it first, where you have to build an online audience, design a lead magnet, start an email list, and then do this incredibly high pressure, terrifying launch, which can either work or not work. For me, this is utterly pointless. And you just don't need to do that before you launch your group program. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you what you do need to do, a super simple process that I have done over and over again and I'm doing right now, right? So I'm going to share what I've done in action live so you can see how simple this process can be. So you don't need a big audience, you don't need to launch, you don't need to do long-term or marketing basically to get a group program off the ground. And just to labor that point a little bit, I just want to talk about the difference between hunting and farming. This is a term that my colleague Greg Faxon coined, and I really like it. And we've used it in our program Weeks That Work that we're running at the moment. The difference between farming is long-term marketing to grow an audience. So you start a YouTube video, a YouTube channel, and in a couple of years' time, you might have an audience there. You start a new Instagram account, and if you post consistent content, eventually your audience will grow, right? That's farming. It takes time. And the reason farming is worth it is because long-term, it makes getting clients easier, but it doesn't give you clients short-term, right? Because all of these channels take time to grow. The opposite of this is hunting. And hunting is where we just go and leverage the people in front of us. We reach out to old leads. We ask our family and friends. We go to networking events. We just try and hunt for clients, right? And this is how you can get a group program off the ground incredibly quickly, just leveraging the people in front of you right now, whoever that is. So step one, I'm going to go through 4 steps to launch a group program or not launch, to sell a group program in 2 weeks using a Google Doc. So before you even start, because what a lot of people do is they go and create a group program, right? And they go and record all of the content and then they take it to their audience and no one buys it, right? Complete waste of time. So the first thing you need to do is ascertain if there is actually interest in the niche idea you have. A big mistake people make with their group programs is they try and sell the kitchen sink, okay? They're like, I can help people with this. This is my group program. Who wants to buy it? Now, if you have lots of credibility and an established audience, you can do that. You can sell a really big offer really easily. If you are launching something for the first time, like a group program, it is so much easier to sell a very niched specific thing. So step one is to go to your families and friends, to your networks, to Facebook groups, to anywhere you have an audience of these people and say, I'm thinking of doing this thing to help people with this problem to achieve this result. I'm just curious, is that something you'd be interested in? A couple of weeks ago, I had a new offer idea, taking a portion of Amplify, my main program, basically helping people without an audience to test a new niche with a group program. This was my idea, because what I find in Amplify is the process of coming up with a group program is the thing that helps people niche, because they go more niche for the group program. So I thought this could really help people that are struggling to niche, that are struggling to go from generalist to specialist, if we go through this process and have them beta test a mini group program. So I wrote to my audience, I sent them an email and I said, here's what I noticed. Like, I noticed how hard it is for people to go from generalist to specialist. And I know I struggle with that because I've always been a generalist. And I noticed that because it's hard for you to go from a generalist to a specialist, it's really hard for you to grow an audience because you're being so vague and generic and it just doesn't stand out. So I had this idea that I take like the beginning of Amplify and I help people who have not got that engagement and that traction. And we go through this process together of hyper niching a group program and testing it with a tiny group of people to see if this niche has legs, to see if this is profitable in the marketplace, and have this experimental mindset. Would anybody be interested? Now I have a email list of about, 6,000 people. And I had a really good response rate to that email. People were going, yes, I want to join the waitlist. I want to join the waitlist. And I said, if I get enough interest for this, I will run a program on it. And I did. I got the interest. That was step one. You have to test it with the market. If you haven't tested it with the market, we're trying to put the cart before the horse. Step two is you need to then articulate the offer, like the thing in your head, you need to write it down. And this is what I recommend you do in a Google Doc. Now, why a Google Doc? Because sales pages force most people to go very salesy, and we have to write like a copywriter and it has to be professional. And in that process, you lose all of the heart. Plus, the best way for you to sell this program is in a conversation with people, not on a sales page. So don't try and automate the sales process. You just need to write down the offer, right? And in this offer, you need to articulate the problem in a compelling way. You need to say, hey, this is what's going on for you right now. These are the problems that you are feeling, not the problems that I think you're having, the problems that you are feeling in your own words. Okay. So for example, you feel like you're more like a generalist and you're really terrified to go more specialist because part of you feels this imposter syndrome. Or do you actually know enough to specialize in that area? Can you actually help people? Right. You need to articulate the problem in a good way. Then you need to share with them your solution. Right. And so then this is what I believe is the right way to solve this problem. And then really importantly, how. This is how we get there. And this is my strong point of view as to why this is the best way. Okay. And this is what I find a lot of people are miss from their offer is they're able to articulate the problem. And they're able to articulate the solution, but they don't really have a strong point of view. So it just sounds like everybody else offering the same thing. So the stronger you can say, this is why I believe this route is the right way instead of that route and that route, and point to the other routes, the options that they have, and show them why you think your route is the best way. And then the Google Doc is also going to give them all of the information they need about here's how it works, here's the support you'll get, here is the investment, and all of that piece. Okay, all articulated in your Google Doc. Casual language, informal, no professional copywriting. You can get ChatGPT to help you if you want, but the more heart you put into the document, the more you, the more personality, the more sales you are going to get. Okay, so now we've market tested it, and then we've written the offer down in our Google Doc. Right, now the next thing we have to do very simply is show people the Google Doc. Catch. So for example, I've got, 40, 50 people on a wait list for my new offer. I've only got 15 spots for it, okay? So what I'm going to be doing next week, I've been refining the document over the last couple of weeks. And I went to everyone that joined my wait list and I said, cool, I'm really excited. I'm going to go ahead with this idea. Now, I just want to know from you, in fact, can I find the exact questions I asked people and I can share with them? Because I wanted to know, I want to make this Google Doc in their words, okay? So I need to have their words in it. So the things I said, to help me to shape this offer, would you be against answering these quick questions for me? 1, what's your number one challenge when it comes to selling your offer? 2, what have you tried so far? And 3, what do you think has held you back to this point? Now, what I've then done is taken everyone's words and I've gone to my Google Doc and I'm like, okay, I need to make sure that I am mirroring exactly what they are saying in their own words. Now, the next step is to go to these people on my waitlist and to say, great, I've now got the offer ready. Would you like me to send it to you? And to send them the Google Doc. Now, the other option you have here, because one of the challenges is often, I'm a good writer. I love writing. It's my passion, writing as well. So I know, and also I have credibility, right? I've been around for a long time. People know me, they trust me, they've been on my email list for a long time. So these aren't necessarily cold leads that I am trying to convert into this offer. So I'm confident going with my Google Doc. However, if I was less confident in my ability to write well and less confident in my credibility to sell a new offer on a Google Doc, very simply, I would go back to these people and say, hey, I've now got the offer ready. I'd really love to chat it through with you in person. Can we hop on a call and chat it through? Use your Google Doc to help you frame that call, and you can send it to people afterward, but you don't have to use it as a sales tool if you don't want to. So this whole process can be done in 2 weeks, right? Ask the people if they want it, write down what they want into an offer, check it's what they want, and then send them the offer. And very simply, it says at the end of my Google Doc, once you've read this, assuming you meet the criteria, if you want to join, reply back and let me know if you're in, out, or if you have any questions. Now, one really great thing to do for a new offer is to frame it as a beta. You can call it a beta, a pilot, a case study group, right? Whatever you want. And in that framing, you get to say, hey, this is a new idea. I'm testing it. I'm looking for 10, 5, 10, 50 beta clients to test it with me. Here's what that means. I'm offering this program for a discounted price. And in return for the discount, I'm going to be asking you for feedback throughout. And for as many of you as possible, I'd love to write up a case study of your experience and the results you've achieved working with me, so I can use that to sell the offer in the future. Tell them everything that is true to you. Don't try and pull the wool over their eyes that you've run this before, that it's going to be perfect, that it's going to be all singing, all dancing on Kajabi. You can literally have a Google Drive with the Zoom recordings in of whatever you're doing, and they go and watch that, right? You can keep it ridiculously simple. So often we overcomplicate the process and put in steps to launching your group program that just aren't necessary. So, little sell for you here. If you're watching this and you're like, I would love to figure out how I could test a niche with much less pressure than I've currently been putting on myself, quickly type waitlist underneath, and next week I will send you my Google Doc. Benefit of this is, one, you're going to see the format of my Google Doc, and two, this offer might be exactly what you need. So in this offer, what we are going to do is we're going to look within your generalist niche and look for your hyper niche, the one that's going to make you money and is actually the thing you're interested in. And then we're going to design out an offer in that niche that you can run one-on-one or in a group. And then we're going to go test it. We're going to go hunt for clients, proactively use your network to fill it, and figure out if this is actually something you want to do without all of the pressure, without long-term marketing, without complicated funnels and lead magnets and ads and automated webinars and all of that shit that is not going to help you at this stage.